Hey, I almost tripped, but I made it up the stairs. Um, so my story starts off. I'm getting off one of my nowhere in particular rides on the F Market, and I'm just hit with the sea of tourists, all those nasty diesel tour buses filling the streets. But I'm walking over to the 28 bus to head back to the Richmond district. And immediately I'm surprised because, well, first it's in Orion, one of my favorite buses, back when the 40-footer Orions were still in service. Um, but I was also surprised to see an operator that I knew. And I knew that he didn't normally drive this line. The way I actually got to know him is when he was first in training at Muni. Another operator I happened to know was one of his line trainers who showed him around the system. Uh, but it was his first time on the 28, so I volunteered to give him some pointers. Um, so our bus is filling up, we're going through the Marina District, we have all the tourists, all the locals, and we start, flying down the freeway. All the tourists are, gawking and gazing at the Golden Gate Bridge. And right before, the Golden Gate Bridge exit, you have to merge over two lanes. So I'm pointing, I'm like, you gotta merge. It's a quick merge. Okay, take the exit. We made it over the two lanes, but we missed the exiting part. So we ended up pulling into the Golden Gate Transit bus stop that's right there. And I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, this is my fault. Like I'm supposed to be telling this guy where he's supposed to go. And like now there's a bus full of people. And I just remember looking back in the bus, and you could tell who was the locals and who was the tourists, because all the tourists, they're just still amazed by the Golden Gate Bridge. They don't really know. But all the locals are like, oh, shit, my weekend is ruined. I'm going to be waiting out here for the next bus. So we ended up calling the control center, and they instructed us to kick the people off, which, as much as they were complaining, it worked out better because I stuck around on that bus. I'm like, okay, we made one mistake, but we can recover. We all see where this is going. We made it across the bridge to the Alexander Avenue exit, and we're supposed to make the left turn to circle under, head back into the city. But that didn't happen. They were doing congestion management this weekend, so the left turn was actually blocked off. We couldn't make the left. And I was like, oh, I'll just move the cones, it'll be fine. But I was told no. I think we should have just moved the cones looking back on it. It would have saved us a lot of time. I'm pretty good at traffic management after all. But what ended up happening is we were told to follow the route of one of my favorite bus lines, the 76 Express. I've really missed it during COVID, but hopefully it'll be coming back. I guess I got a little, special ride that day. So we were making it through the one-way tunnel. I'm looking up. I'm like, oh my gosh, are we gonna hit the walls of this tunnel? Are we gonna make it? We did make it, but later we got to a fork in the road. And we're wondering, okay, which way do we go? And my cell service was a little spotty, and it was rolling off the tip of my tongue. I said right. Actually, we're supposed to go left. But I'm like, and I immediately actually realized this because I'm like, oh, this is the Marine Mammal Center. The 76 does not go to the Marine Mammal Center. So I'm like, oh, it's no problem. I got this. I'm still having a good time. I'm not. The stress of the situation hadn't really hit me yet. I'm just enjoying all the scenery and stuff. I'm like, oh, we'll just take the next left. We can fix it. Just don't worry, So we end up in this dirt parking lot. It's smaller than like a baseball field. And we got this 40-foot bus. So I'm like, oh, shit, we can't really, how are we going to get this thing out of here? Because this is not where we're supposed to be. So this is when, my just like, oh, yay, the 76, woo, coverage, yay, national park, turns to like, oh, we might be stuck out here. And the radio was not working. I guess, after a certain point, they figure the buses can't get this lost. We don't need radio signal out here. So we were on our own. Luckily, with a 17-point turn, we were able to negotiate our way on out of there. Don't ask me how. There might have been a tree branch that fell or something, but we made it home. I made it here. So I think it was a success. later, we were descending back down, and I'm still, I'm still in my tourist mode a bit. I'm like, oh wow, look at the ocean. That wasn't so bad. And we made it back into the city. Everything worked out. But later that day, my friend sends me the photo of the same bus, and it's at the In-N-Out Burger in Daly City. And I'm just thinking to myself, I should have been on that detour, That would have been much better. So that's my story. Thank you.